Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Python introduction. Let's start our Python journey by first understanding the basic data types in Python and then some mathematics operators in Python. So first let's start with the data types. So if you want to define an integer in Python, all you have to do is select a variable name. So here I'm using I, you are free to use whichever variable name you want. Then I have to use the assignment operator, which is the equal to sign, and then the value that I want to assign to my integer variable, right? That's all you have to do. So you don't have to do any advanced declaration like integer I equals to 2, because Python is an intelligent language. It will interpret by itself what is the data type of this particular variable, right? Second, I want to introduce you to a very special inbuilt function in Python. Now when I say inbuilt function, it is a function which is already defined in Python environment. You simply have to use it, right? So the name of the inbuilt function is type, and what type does, it accepts a variable. So here I'm passing it I, and in return it gives you the data type of that particular variable. So if I want to see the data type of I can simply pass my variable to the type function, and in output you can see I'm getting the data type of I as integer. Next, I want to define a float data type in Python. Again, I'm going to use a variable name and assignment operator and the value that I want that particular variable to have. So floats are nothing but the decimal numbers in Python, right? So f is equal to 2.0. If you want to check the type of f, you can see it's coming as float now. The next data type is a string, the most important data type in Python. So what is a string? A string is nothing but a set of characters. So your first name, your last name, the name of city, these all are strings. To define a string in Python, you have to use either single quotes or double quotes, right? So it depends on you which one you feel more comfortable with. We have two options. Now to define an empty string in Python, you can simply use two single quotes without any space. If you give a space between these quotes, then this is not an empty string, because space is considered a valid character in a string, right? To define an empty string, you can simply give two single quotes or two double quotes. Now to define a new variable language in a string in Python, you can use language, the assignment operator, and then inside the single quotes you can mention the value of that particular language. So let's say I want to define a language variable which has the value of Python in it, right? So if you want to print and check what value this has, you can simply go here and press shift enter on your system, and you can see now I'm getting the value of language as Python, right? If I want to check the type, I can again see the type of language is a string variable. Next is the Boolean data type. So in Python we have a Boolean type, and of course the values for Boolean data types is true and false. An important thing to notice here is this true is highlighted in green font. So green font suggests this is a reserved keyword in Python, right? Second important thing here is you cannot change this capital T to small t. If you do that, you are not using a Boolean type. As you see, the green font is gone now, it's not anymore highlighted. So if you have to use, and you have to be very careful that you are using the exact capital T here, because Python is a case sensitive language. That means capital T and small t are two different things in Python, right? So if I do bool type is equals to true or false, and if I want to check the type of Boolean type, it will give me the data type for this bool underscore type as bool. Next thing that we want to understand is the explicit conversion of one data type to another data type, or this is also known as forceful conversion. In our programming scenarios, sometimes a need arises that we need to convert a particular data type to another data type, and this is how we can do it. By using a float function, you can convert an integer to a float, right? So float is again an inbuilt function, and I'm passing an integer value to this, and you can see in the output it's been converted to a decimal number. Same goes for the float value also. If you want to convert a float value to an integer type, you can simply use the integer function int and pass your float value to it. In the output, you can see we are getting an integer value for this decimal number. Next, let's say I want to convert a float value to a string, right? So I will use my string function, I will pass my float value, and you can see in the output the number is same, but it is now surrounded by this quotes, which actually signifies string in Python. Now the question arises why we want to convert a float number to a string value, right? So the answer lies in in this print function, right? There are a lot of scenarios in which you want to print a particular numerical value concatenated with my string message. So here I want to say, let's say the duration of this video is 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And you can see I'm using this plus operator, which is also known as the concatenation operator, to concatenate different string types, right? So right now the duration type is a float. So if I execute this print function, I am getting a type error which says that we can only concatenate string with a string. Float cannot be concatenated with a string. So for this reason, I need to convert the duration by using my explicit conversion of string method, and by passing the float value to this. If I do this and again execute my print function, you can see now I'm getting the proper message which says duration of this video is 8 minutes and 30 seconds, right? So that's all about the basic data types in Python. Now let's try to understand some basic mathematics operator in Python. Let's say I want to add two numbers in Python. I will simply use the plus operator or the addition operator, and I will have this two numbers added which says 9 plus 6 equals to 15, right? So one confusion is I have used plus here also and I have used it here, right? So the difference is this is known as operator overloading. You can use the same operator to add two integers, and you can use the same operator to concatenate to a string. So this is operator overloading for you in Python. Let's say I want to subtract two numbers. I will simply use the minus operator here. The answer is 3. If I want to multiply two numbers, I will use my asterisk operator, or you can say the star operator, and the answer is 54. If I want to divide two numbers, I can use my slash operator, the division operator. The double asterisk or the double star operator is used for performing exponent operations in Python. So if this should be read as 10 to the power 2, the answer would be 100. So if you want to use exponent operator, you can use double star or two asterisks. The last operator is an important one, which is known as the modulo operator, or you can also call it the remainder operator, right? In a lot of programming concepts, we need to take the remainder of a particular number, right? When we divide two numbers, you want to know what is the remainder, right? So if I use this percentage or the modulo operator, so it will return me the remainder of this two numbers. So if you divide 9 by 6, you will get 3 as remainder. Alright guys, that's all for today's session. Thanks for watching. In case of any doubts, please feel free to use comment section. Happy learning and stay safe.